Lovin on Phuket presents Istanbul. Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia, or in Turkish, Ayasofya, or in Latin, Sancta Sophia, and also called the Church of Holy Wisdom or the Church of Divine Wisdom, is an important Byzantine structure in Istanbul and one of the world's great monuments. Hagia Sophia was built as a Christian church in the 6th century under the direction of the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I. In subsequent centuries, it became a mosque, a museum, and is now a mosque again. The building reflects the religious changes that have played out in the region over the centuries, with the minarets and inscriptions of Islam, as well as the lavish mosaics of Christianity. To get to Hagia Sophia, we will have to head to the country of Turkey. We will head down to the infamous city of Istanbul, which straddles both the European and Asian continents. On the European side, we will head to the Fatih district, where some of the most iconic grand mosques in the world reside. There, we can travel to Sultanahmet Square, home to Hagia Sophia. While most of the residents were restricted to staying home, we ventured out from our Airbnb in Maltepe into the Fatih district. The streets were completely empty when we got off the Metro Marmara line. I remember this feeling of almost wonder as we ventured towards Sultanahmet Square. Cobblestone streets lined with shops and a large stone wall in the distance. Over the trees on a hilltop, I could at times see the tips of minarets. Could this be the great Hagia Sophia we had come to see? After about a 15-minute walk, where I frequently stopped to take photos, we started to venture up a hill. Almost suddenly, like it was being hidden from sight, the great structure started to reveal itself on my left. Hagia Sophia. You can't understand the sheer size and magnitude of a grand mosque until you see it. Similar to seeing the Great Pyramid of Giza or an ocean liner once it docks after you watch it coming in from the sea, these structures are simply massive. As we ventured into Sultanahmet Square, the sun was shining from over the blue mosque, and I understood for the first time what was so grand about these buildings. Not only are they built on such a large scale, but the designs are so intricate and the decorations are done in a completely uniform manner. For me, this was a wondrous moment and such a devastating time in human history. Hagia Sophia has withstood the test of time and is an important structure for Istanbul, Turkey, and quite frankly humanity. As times have changed, and so has the nation of Turkey, as too has what now is a grand mosque. The original church built on the site where Hagia Sophia is now is said to have been ordered by Constantine I in 325 to be built on the foundation of a pagan temple. Constantine's son, Constantius II, consecrated the church in 360. The church was damaged in 404 AD by a fire that erupted during a riot following the second banishment of St. John Chrysostom, who was, at that time, the Patriarch of Constantinople. The church was rebuilt and enlarged by Roman Emperor Constans I, and the restored building was rededicated in 415 by Theodosius II. The church was burned again in the Nika insurrection of January 532, a circumstance that gave Justinian I an opportunity to envision a splendid replacement. Hagia Sophia was built in a remarkably short time. Construction took about 6 years and was completed in 537 AD. This was unusual for the period in which it was built, and the names of the building's architects, Anthemius of Tralles and Isidorus of Miletus, are well known as in their familiarity with mechanics and mathematics. The structure now standing is essentially the 6th century edifice. An earthquake caused a partial collapse of the dome in 558 AD and was restored in 562 AD. There were 2 further partial collapses, and afterwards the dome was rebuilt to a smaller scale. At that time, the whole church was also reinforced from the outside. Hagia Sophia was restored again in the mid-14th century. For more than a millennium, Hagia Sophia was the cathedral of the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople. In 1204, it was looted by the Venetians and by the Crusaders on the Fourth Crusade. After the Turkish conquest of Constantinople in 1453, Mehmed II had Hagia Sophia repurposed as a mosque, with the addition of a wooden minaret, which is a tower used for the summons to prayer on the exterior. Mehmed II also installed a great chandelier, a mihrab indicating the direction of Mecca, and a minbar or a pulpit. Either Mehmed II or his son, Bayezid II, erected the red minaret that stands on the southeast corner of the structure today. The original wooden minaret did not survive. Bayezid II also erected the narrow white minaret on the northeast side of the mosque. The 2 identical minarets on the western side were likely commissioned by Selim II or Murad III and built by renowned Ottoman architect Sinan in the 1500s. In 1934, Turkish President Atatürk disassociated Hagia Sophia from religious use, and in 1935 it was made into a museum. In 1985, Hagia Sophia was designated a component of a UNESCO World Heritage Site called the Historic Areas of Istanbul, which includes the city's other major historic buildings and locations. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan made the controversial decision in 2020 to convert Hagia Sophia back into a functioning mosque. Islamic prayers were held shortly after the announcement, and curtains were hung, partially concealing the building's Christian imagery. As Turkey's most popular tourist destination, Hagia Sophia has remained open to visitors, regardless of its use or in light of the recent pandemic. Thanks for watching Lovin' It on Phuket. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you'll know when the next video is posted. In the meantime, check out some of these other great videos from Phuket, Thailand, Southeast Asia, and beyond. Happy traveling!